Good morning, everybody. It's your KCHW morning show. Oh, I got the mic up a little too loud there. It is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025. Yes, Sharon, we are streaming. There's a delay.
I know, and I always tell you that.
Yes, it's right here. No.
You know what it's time for? You know what it's time for? It's time for our Wednesday morning local roundup.
Yes.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right now. Come on, boy. Yeah. Good boy. Yeah.
Indeed. Good morning, folks. We have a great show planned for you today.
Good morning.
We have two guests today. We actually have a guest the first and second half of the show. I think it's the first time for that. But we are very happy to welcome our guest for the first half of the show. We have Shane Fairweather. Good morning, Shane. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine.
Outstanding. And then the second half of the show, we're going to have Paul Sety. He's going to be here to talk about the grand reopening of Sety's Ace Hardware, which is very exciting as well.
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
So we're gonna. So basically, Shane. Sorry, I didn't. That was a typo in my brain. Shane, we're gonna basically have you on as our co-host for the first half of the show.
Nice.
And so, Shane, you're gonna come in. You're gonna talk about the Special Olympics.
Yes.
It's a very, very important events happening. Very important for the disabled community.
Yes.
Oh, what did you get a little closer to the mic there, Shane? You gotta almost have your mouth on it. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
Awesome.
So we're gonna go ahead and get through the weather and stuff first, and then we'll get over to you, Shane. How about that?
That sounds good.
And feel free to come in with a joke or a quip or anything anytime you want, man.
Okay.
You're a co-host this morning.
You're stuck with us now.
Oh,
Hey.
I don't have any camera. There you go. There's Shane. Everybody, say hi to the
Awesome.
camera, Shane.
Hi.
Beautiful.
Well, today is Wednesday, August 20th. I can't believe it's so late in the month already. And
Right.
today we're going to have a high of 85 degrees with an 11% chance of rain and a low of 52 tonight. Then we're going to move on to Thursday with a high of 88, sunny skies and a low of 54. Friday we have a high of 93, a low of 57 and sunny skies. Saturday we have a high of 97, a low of 61 and fully sunny skies. Sunday we have a high of 98, a low of 63, partly cloudy skies. Monday we have a high of 99, mostly sunny skies, a low of 64. Tuesday we have a high of 99 again, a low of 63 with mostly sunny skies. And Wednesday we have a high of 97, a low of 63, mostly sunny skies. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, 7 days with 0% chance of rain.
And 7 days in the 90s.
Yeah, and in the
Ugh.
90s. So
Yeah.
it looks like this is going to be the last big heat wave of the summer, hopefully, knock on wood, right?
So get out to the lake.
Yes, perfect lake weather. And of course,
Yes.
it's always going to be beautiful at the farmer's market because we have all the beautiful trees in the shade. But yes, so if you need some hot work done, this is the week to go get it done. Otherwise, we're going to hopefully start cooling off there as we go into next week where the temperatures lower, get into the 90s and the upper 80s and the lower 80s. And actually, at the end of 2 weeks, it looks like all the way down to 79.
Yeah. Fingers
Yay.
crossed.
Right? It'd be nice and cool.
Yeah. It's too late in the year for that. We need fall. Come on.
Oh, Spokane
No,
always
no,
has an
no.
Indian
It's too hot.
summer. We expect it. It's all good.
I
Yep.
know.
Yep.
I know. All right, so let's go ahead and get
Birthdays.
the birthdays
Birthdays.
taken care of here on the Chewila Valley Lions Club calendar here.
We're like
So-
speeding through stuff, Shane.
Right.
We're like, woohoo!
So today, love is in the air. We have Adeline, I don't know if it's Adeline Manis. Manis, it looks like. Sorry. Again, these letters are very, very small and very, very
Yes.
gray. All right, then we have Jamie and Tom Brooke with an anniversary. And our very, very good friends, the ever lovely Joe and Heidi Wilzinski, have an anniversary.
Aw.
Yeah. Or I guess I should say Joe and the very lovely Heidi Wilzinski have an
Exactly.
anniversary.
There you go.
Love you,
I
Joe.
can just hear
and
Heidi,
Heidi
right now going, hey. So were there birthdays or just anniversaries?
There was one birthday and two anniversaries. You ready?
Ready. Happy birthday.
Happy day. Happy birthday. Yay.
Yay.
Sing it, Sharon. Good job. Sharon's playing backup on that one.
Yeah. Okay, so for our local roundup,
Yeah.
am I it sounds to me like I'm reverberating, like, yeah.
No, I think you sound okay.
Okay. So we're just going to do the highlights because we're so excited to have two guests. But
Yes.
today we have ordinary pickleball, which is Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. But today is a blood drive at the American Legion
yeah.
from 12 noon to 6 p.m. So if you can do that, that's a great way to help all of us. And then also today is the first day of football practice. Maybe they will need some of your blood.
Wow.
Oh, slap my mouth.
Wow. Wow, Sharon, you went
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah. Thursday, just the highlight is that we have auditions for Nevermore radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And the auditions last night were very well attended, and we expect more for this one and Saturdays.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, there were a ton of people showing up. It was incredible. We actually had to extend the times available for auditions because more people. It's going to be an amazing show.
And so, what are the times, and how do they get an audition?
So for the auditions, you're going to want to go to, you can go to the Chwila.events calendar, and there's a link right there on the calendar if you click on a Halloween radio play.
Okay.
Or you can go to audition.nevermoreradio.com. Or you can text Laura at 509-675-8556.
She really likes those 3 a.m. texts. Definitely text her early in the morning.
You know what? She's one of those that she's like, I'm asleep. I don't care. I'll see you tomorrow. So,
Yep. Yeah. And so then Friday, of course, we have the farmers market from 11 to 3:30. I am skipping our ordinary weekly things. I hope that's okay with
Yeah.
with
And
all you out there listening.
yeah, we've got to make some extra time today.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if you do need to find those again, go to Chwila.events.
That's right.
And everything is right there for you.
Yep. Saturday, we have auditions again, like you said, for the Nevermore Radio. And it's also Friday, Saturday, Sunday is Sety's grand reopening party.
Yes, it is.
And the big party is on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. And so if you haven't been inside, it's amazing.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And they don't have, they might not have everything you want, but you ask them and they'll get it for you.
I was gonna
yeah.
say they
Yeah.
do. They're so good,
Yeah.
and they're still restocking. I mean, they've been
Oh, yeah.
restocking forever. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's amazing. They've got everything you could possibly need. So I'm so excited that Paul is going to be here this afternoon.
Me
Yeah.
too. Me too. I've been trying to get him on for a long time, and now he's finally roped him in.
And then, of course, we want to remind people we only have a couple more weeks to go to the Walt Goodman Historical Museum, Friday,
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday. So we want to have you go to that. And then next week, well, it isn't next week, is it? On August 30th. Now, it is
Yes.
not on the Chwila Events calendar, but it will be.
Yes,
Very
I'll get it
shortly.
on there this afternoon.
Very shortly.
It's Rev It Up for the Radio at the Chwila City Park. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so that's happening from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is a fundraiser for the radio station. Huge thank you to our big friends over there at Infusion and David Bergman for helping us with this, and Melissa Silvio for getting all this stuff together. So we have the Catch a Wave, Catch a Wave raffle happening, which we have a kayak. We've got stuff from Sety's. We've got stuff from MK Coffee, Blue Creek Mercantile. There's a whole big giveaway package for that raffle.
We don't have time for
We
you to
don't have
read
time.
that list.
We don't have time to list everything.
I was just going to say, I
But-
pulled up the email from Melissa that has everything listed, and there's
Yeah.
got to be like 20 some odd things
We have
here.
27 businesses
Yeah.
have donated. Actually, I think there's more because we got a couple more yesterday.
Wow.
Oh my
So
goodness.
we're up to almost 30 businesses who have donated items to go on our silent auction table.
And
To
it's
support
amazing.
the
support
radio.
For the
Yeah.
radio.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to it. There's going to be cars, live music. We've got the silent auction going on. It's going to be a great fun day.
It's going to be
Yeah.
an amazing day.
Just
Yeah.
keep an eye out for the big, wavy guys on the side of the street.
What is it? Wacky waving inflatable arm. No.
Inflatable waving arm men.
Say,
Yeah, there you
thank
go.
I was going to say
There you
there's a special way to say that. So there'll be 2 of those, you said?
3 of those.
3.
3 of those.
How
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We'll have to have a competition. Who can say it faster and properly?
Say it, Shane.
No.
Waving, wacky, inflatable waving arm men.
Sure, that works. That works.
Sounds good to me. Okay, then the week after that, Stage Time starts. Stage Time Theater School starts September 3rd, and the times for that are right after school. The flyers and everything, information and registration are on the Chihuahua Center for the Arts website, or you could also go to the events calendar, and it should be there too. And there's a link to download the registration forms. And it does say 3:15 and 5:15 for the two different classes, but please come a little earlier than that. Come right after school, or homeschool people come a little earlier so that you can get your registration taken care of and still make it to class.
Yeah.
You know.
And they do get school credit for that too, right?
The high school, junior high kids, do.
Very cool.
And we're doing Seussical Junior.
Yay.
Yeah.
I am so excited for
Yeah.
Ella. She's so talented. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what her vision for this is.
Yep, Ella Volts will be our student director, of course, under the direction of Janet McLaughlin, our producer. So it should be a great time. Let's see. Then I want to highlight that WAFED is having their open house on Friday, September 5th.
Yeah.
So that's coming up. And the Chamber of Commerce, their annual auction and dinner, September 13th. Get those tickets. They sold out last year, and they may sell out this year because they're having less tickets.
Oh, wow.
Not as much
That's
space. Yeah, they're having less tickets.
And where's that going to be held?
Out at the
Mr.
Mr.
Kwai.
Mr. Kwa.
Okay.
Yeah, at
I
the
thought that space
hotel.
was- I thought that space was huge.
It is huge, but it was a little cramped last year with all the silent auction things
Oh,
around.
gotcha,
So they're
gotcha.
just tightening it up a little, and so
I
there's
gotcha,
not quite
I
as
gotcha.
many tickets available. And then
so the better, it's more exclusive this year.
it is more exclusive.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
And then Thursday, September 18th is a Taste of Chihuahua, and that's always fun. And those tickets sell out also. So they're not sold out yet. Go get them. But I'm telling you, don't wait till the last day.
No.
know,
We
we
got
always
to go
wait.
get ours too.
Yeah, me
So-
too.
So we've been doing the Artists on the Air show
Oh,
every
yes,
Tuesday
yes.
with Diane Evans
Yeah.
as our host, with all the different artists that have donated work to that auction. And the show's been going great. We just had season 2, episode 5 yesterday, and it's really going great. We're getting some great interviews with all the artists and getting to know them a little bit. So tune in every Tuesday, 4 p.m. with your host, Diane Evans, for Artists on the Air.
And I've sure enjoyed that show. You
It's
know,
really
you
been a
just
good
hear
one.
a different side of people, and Diane's a good interviewer too.
She is. She really
along
is.
with you.
And then before we go on to learn about the Special Olympics and everything going on, I want to remind everybody, if you haven't heard, that the radio is doing a fundraising drive. So you're going to hear different
Yes.
events going on August, September, and October about cool different things that the radio station is doing
Yep.
to bring in extra funds. So don't get tired of listening, and there's opportunities for lots and lots of cool stuff.
And
there
if
is.
you don't want to participate in those, just send money.
Yeah, exactly.
Just send money.
Exactly. All righty. So
Look at how
we,
quick we did that.
that was amazing, you guys.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. So, Shane, let's move on to the man of the hour. I need you to stay a little closer to that mic there so we can hear you.
Okay.
You can always pull the mic closer to you if you need to. Just go ahead and twist it a little bit. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. So, Special Olympics. First of all, introduce yourself.
I'm Shane Cody Further. I'm 42 years old, and I've done Special Olympics since I was 10 years old.
Outstanding. So, can you tell us what Special Olympics means to you?
It means getting out in the community and competing with other people with disabilities and basically working with our coaches and volunteers. And that's why I'm here today, is to get a call out because we need more coaches and volunteers.
Outstanding. So, are you a coach yourself? Are you an athlete,
I'm
participant?
an athlete.
Nice. What events do you compete in?
Skiing, bowling, bocce, soccer, and golf.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes.
That's incredible. So,
What a diverse amount.
right,
Yeah.
what is
nice.
explain bocce to it? Because I've heard the sport. I know I've seen it in the Olympics, but I can't off the top of my head remember what it is.
So it's a Greek sport invented by Greek people. What it is called lawn bowling. What you do is you have 3 different colored balls, and so does your opponent, and then you have a white, what they call a pinta, and you try to get your colored ball as close to the pinta as possible. And the more balls you get to the white ball, the more points you get.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. So it's almost like what's the other one that has the mallets and the
Croquet.
croquet? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it similar to croquet?
You don't use mallets. You use basically it's like bowling on the lawn.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So tell us when and where the Olympics are taking place.
We got bowling going right now, and then we probably have regionals coming up soon. I'm not 100% sure when. And we might have Winter Olympics. We don't know yet because everything's up in the air right now. So they're always switching stuff around on us. So
I gotcha. So Special Olympics. So the bowling that's happening right now. So you guys are practicing right now.
we are practicing for state. Yes, state and regionals.
Very cool. And when did you say those state and regionals start?
I have no idea.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
So I'm looking at the
So
website
stay
for the
tuned.
Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says fall season bowling late July, early November. So probably close to November. We'll
Close
actually.
to November. Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. So how many people in the area right now do you think are competing?
Probably up to 12 to 15 people.
Okay. So a pretty decent field.
Right.
So when you go to these events, these like the statewide events, have you been to many of this? I'm sure you have.
Yes.
A lot of the statewide events.
Yes.
How many? I mean, there's probably hundreds of people
There's
there, right?
hundreds of people all the way from Stevens County all the way up to Amish to Seattle.
That's incredible.
Nice.
So do you? I mean, obviously, when you do this, you meet people, you make friends.
Right.
I'm assuming Special Olympics is more than just about the sports. It's about
They have activities for us to do. They have dances. They have food for us to do, and then there's the competitions. So it's really, really involved. It's a 3-day. Usually if we go to state, it's usually a 3-day place: Saturday, Sunday, and then Friday. So
nice. So are you compete all the sports you listed? Are you competing in all of those on the state level?
just for right now, if we get selected, probably just bowling and bocce.
Okay. Now, have you done well on those in the past? Have you?
Bocce is my first year, but bowling I've done pretty well. I've gone to state several times for bowling.
Nice.
Very cool. Do you have an average score?
80 to 130.
230?
No, 130.
Okay. Well, it's still
Nice.
130 beats my score. Last time I
Oh,
went
yeah,
bowling, I
but-
think I got like a 60 or something.
I'm in the 70
It
range
was
if I go
bad.
bowling.
It
Yeah.
Right.
was bad.
Yeah. So, do you have sponsors that help you get to these events?
Usually we do fundraisers like Cop on Top, or we do we go out and fundraise or they give us transportation money.
Okay.
Right on. So then you said you need coaches, you need athletes. Are there any sports where you want to do them but there's no coaches at all, or they need like assistants?
We just are looking for volunteers and coaches for any sport possible. You don't have to be a coach. You could be somebody that's enthusiastic about sports in general.
Yeah.
So we're just looking for volunteers and coaches. Athletes be welcome too, but we need more coaches and volunteers, because if we don't have coaches and volunteers, there is
Right.
no
Right.
Special Olympics.
No Special Olympics.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the website, the SpecialOlympicsWashington.org,
Right.
and it says why coaching matters. Coaches are vital to the success of the Special Olympics. They teach the athletes new skills and help them take their abilities to new levels. They also exemplify good sportsmanship and model character traits to enhance the sports experience for the athletes. The lessons the athletes learn from coaches, teamwork, self-discipline, and confidence impact them on and off the playing field. So if you want to go and learn how to become a coach for Special Olympics, you can go to SpecialOlympicsWashington.org and go to the coaches, the participate tab, select coach, and there's a special portal you can go to that will take you to apply and fill out the information.
Right.
Yeah, and it says be a part of something bigger. So you create an account, and then you can start on your journey of becoming a coach. And that would be, I bet, an amazing, rewarding experience for people.
It is.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it is a rewarding experience. Half of the people that we've got volunteering are doing coaching right now really like to work with us. You know, it tickles some pinks. So
Nice.
I
So,
bet it does.
so I know I used to work at a bowling alley up
Right.
in Alaska, and every Sunday the Special Olympics team were in there, and that was a day. Otherwise, because I managed the bar there, and otherwise it was a slow day. But on Sundays, that was my day. I got to hang out with them all and really develop some beautiful friendships, and I really enjoyed my time. I had a couple of the guys would come in after they were done rehearsing. Oh my gosh, I'm in play mode. After they were done practicing, and we would sit there and watch football all day. And I tell you what, one kid in particular, he had Down syndrome.
right.
But when it came to sports, there was nothing he didn't know. I think he had like a photographic memory or something when it
Right.
came to stats, sports. It was absolutely incredible. There was nobody that he didn't know all of their history. He'd be like, oh, and 5 years ago he had 58 sacks and did this and that, and I was like, wow. So I was like, on my teams, I'm like taking notes from everything
Right.
the guys tell me. I really enjoyed my time hanging out.
Special Olympics is really fun. I mean, it's given half of the people that I know a reason to get out and get exercise and get out with the community. And, when we do our fundraiser, car washes or whatever, people are more than willing to donate. And we're just looking for volunteers, and we're looking for coaches. If you know somebody that's retired or somebody that has, nothing to do, or a young person that has nothing to do, we're looking for volunteers and coaches.
Or you know what, you volunteer, and then you've got something to do.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and
Dave.
sometimes those people who are busy fit you in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
and they some of the busiest people do some of the most outstanding volunteering.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's important.
Absolutely.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Chuck, if you want to, I've got the apply for volunteer roles screen up on my desktop. If you want to share it so people can see.
Yeah. Yeah. Where is it? Here, I'll see if I can grab it
Yeah.
here. So
I'm
in
gonna
the
share my screen, and it's the directions for applying for volunteer roles, coaches, assistant coaches, and unified partner chaperones.
Right.
So
So-
this is where you would go.
so tell everyone the URL while I'm getting that up in the.
It's a
Up the
really
stream.
long URL. If you go to the
Okay.
SpecialOlympicsWashington.org and you go to volunteer, you'll be directed to this site when you finish clicking on it.
Yep.
All right. So Shane, do you have any fundraisers coming up soon?
No, we had a couple weeks ago. We had Cop on Top, which basically they have like water balloons and water guns, and basically, you get to squirt a cop on a ladder, so that's fun. a charity thing, and some of the local Stevens County cops and firefighters participated.
Nice.
Very
So-
nice.
But we're always having like car washes or yard sales or whatever we can to raise money, so we can go to state, because state's the big thing for everybody to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there a way that just an ordinary person could donate? I mean, do you have a website? Do you have somebody that they can contact? Is there a way that?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, can we just give you money if we want to support you, or do we need to do something else?
Normally, you want to talk to our coordinator, but the whole thing is she's really busy right now, so I don't want to bother.
I bet she's not too busy to accept a check.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a check, yeah.
Yeah. So Shane, on a more personal level, I really would like to give a public shout out and a thank you to all the help you've been giving, all the work you've been doing for the radio station.
Yes.
Of course.
If you guys don't know this, Shane has been there this summer just every
Every week,
Friday
yeah.
at the farmers market. He's been helping with our estate
The-
sale fundraiser.
Right.
Shane, you're the man, dude.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate our friendship, and man, thank you so much.
Yeah,
we,
you're welcome.
We owe you a ton.
Yeah, all the
It's,
help, just moving all the equipment and the tables
Right.
and it's amazing. So seeing you out there and sitting there and manning the booth when Chuck is out on his walkabouts as he does.
I'm gonna go get a donut. I'm back 45 minutes later. Yeah. Sorry
We're going
about
to
that.
put like one of those finder tags on Chuck, but thankfully Shane is usually in the booth. So
And
it's nice.
how many squirrels are in the farmer's market?
Every single person in the farmer's market is their own unique, individual, beautiful squirrel.
I don't think Chuck asked you, so you do quite a few sports. Is one of
Yes.
them your favorite? Like, is that your absolute favorite?
Downhill skiing's mostly my favorite. I've been doing it for at least since I was like 10 years old. So yeah, I've competed. I've gone to state games and world games. Yeah.
Wow.
So skiing's my passion, and that's what I love. 49 degrees north. When we go up there, they always treat us nice, and they're supposed to have something up for our team next year. So be on the lookout for that as well. And I ski underneath the Riverside Racers, so if there's any Riverside Racers out there, I'd like to just say hello.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a great, the Riverside Racers are a great family. They're a great organization. So is Special Olympics. I can't say enough about them. They make us feel welcome every time we go to state games or regionals or anything.
Nice.
That is awesome.
So there was a very special moment from another Chihuahuan. It was a few years ago. I don't remember exactly the year, but I do think it was in Washington State is when they
Yes.
held the National Special Olympics.
Yes.
And our very own Alan Stone did the opening ceremony music for the Special Olympics, and he was out there in the crowd. And I think for a Chihuahuan that does a lot of great stuff out there, for what I've been following of his career, that was the thing that made me the proudest of calling him a local as when he opened for the Special Olympics. It was incredible. He was out there with the crowd and sitting in
Nice.
people's laps
Yeah, it's a
and
big event when
Yeah.
they do it, the state games and stuff like that, and the regionals and the world games. It's a big, huge deal for us people with disabilities.
oh, I can imagine. I can
Yes.
imagine. So are you? Then obviously you're going this year. Do you guys?
For regionals, we're going, yes.
Okay. I know you just. I saw you're trying to raise funds to go to the state. Is that what it is?
No, we're just looking for volunteers and coaches.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So I've shared that link, and you can. It is on our chat there on the video feed here, where you can go and volunteer. There's an application. It looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have the information here. Complete the following requirements. It includes a 2-step background check, a Class A release of liability, protective behaviors online training, a general orientation training, a code of conduct acknowledgement, and a housing policy acknowledgement. And then the next level, a head coach slash assistant coach, they want you to have the following requirement training: concussion online training, coaching unified sports online training, sports-specific online training, and sports-specific in-person training. So there's lots of different things that you can go and volunteer for. This is what you have to have ready. They'll help you every step of the way. They want to make sure that you're supported as a coach so that you can fully support the athletes. And I'm sure there's people, if you have any questions, that you can ask and they'll answer their questions.
Right.
And with all that training that you need to take, it's not, you just can't volunteer the day before.
Right.
No.
It's something you think about and you prepare for. Yeah. Yeah.
It says the in-person trainings, the Tier 2 requirements are tailored to specific sport needs, and they allow for the development of skills and drills for sport that coaches can bring back to their practicing games. Expect 1+ hours to complete the required online trainings and up to 4 hours for in-person trainings. So keep in mind that in-person trainings will be highly dependent on the sport and venue availability. So yeah, and again, there's a 1-page guide to walk you through the whole process. So I know there's some retired coaches out there, Dave, not mentioning any names,
Dave.
Dave.
Oh, he's not totally retired because he
Oh,
helps
good.
with my granddaughter's softball team. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, very cool. Well, yes. Oh my gosh, what a gift it's been to have you on the radio.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So are you? Is there any other words of wisdom? Anything advice you'd like to give other participants, or anything you'd like to say to maybe somebody special that's is helping out that you'd like to say hi to?
I would like to thank all our coaches and all our athletes for competing this year, and thank you, Rita, Brian, if you're listening on the radio. If not, We really appreciate everybody who helps out with Special Olympics, and we would like more coaches and volunteers, and that's what I'm on the radio today, is just to give a call out to see if we can find somebody to do either soccer or golf or even skiing or bowling. Rita does so much for us, and we're grateful, but the whole thing is we need more people, because if not, there's no Special Olympics. There's no team. There is, and it gets us out in the community and gets us exercise and keeps us fit and keeps us, active and helps us advocate and help us volunteer as well. And I love volunteering in the community and giving back to somebody, helping out with the radio station. I'm glad that Chuck was able to thank me, but I do it because I get out in the community and I get to, people get to hear my voice and see my face, and I get out there as well. So thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure having you, man.
Okay. Thanks.
Well,
You make us proud.
And I've volunteered over my life, and one of the it's fun to volunteer.
It is.
And I keep saying on the radio here, just find your niche and go volunteer. Every organization in Chihuahua needs more volunteers. Don't just sit at home. Find what you want to do and go join. And this is a really good one, Special Olympics.
It really is.
It's
Yeah.
a really good
It
one.
really
It's one that most of us haven't really heard of, because most of us aren't involved with the Special Olympics people. So this is really good that we're having you on the radio this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, Shane. And again, anytime there's any fundraiser or anything, let us know, and we'll help promote it for you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get along with the show here. I don't see Paul in the other room yet.
He is.
Oh,
He
is
came
he in the
door
other room?
opened, yeah.
You know what? Let's go ahead. We'll take our break a little early today.
Sounds good.
And we'll go ahead and listen to some news. We're going to thank our sponsors, and we will be right back after the break with Mr. Paul Sety. And again, a big, huge thank you to Shane Fairweather for coming in today. Don't forget, if you are available and you have the time and the willingness and a love in your heart, go ahead, click on the link there. It is right there in the comment section of this video feed to volunteer for the Special Olympics. It's an important event and activity and series.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's the right way to call it. Sport?
Sport.
Yeah. Okay.
Sports, yeah.
It's very important. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to take our break now. We'll be right back after this with Paul Sety. Thank you for listening to KCHW 102.7. We'll be right back.
Public News Service Show newscast for August 20th, 2025. I'm Mike Clifford. Governor Josh Stein of North Carolina declared a state of emergency Tuesday as the outer bands of Hurricane Aaron inch closer to the state, increasing the likelihood of life-threatening rip currents this week. That for the New York Times. They report the state's emergency management agency said the storm surge, or the abnormal rise of water generated by a storm, could reach as high as 4 feet on Wednesday. And from The Guardian, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu has hit back sharply at the Trump administration's legal threats over sanctuary city immigration policies, declaring Boston will not back down. Wu told a news conference outside Boston City Hall Tuesday the U.S. Attorney General asked for a response by today, so here it is. Stop attacking our cities to hide your administration's failures. And despite widespread funding cuts in the federal reconciliation bill, Tennessee's Medicaid program TennCare is expanding access to care by covering FDA-approved weight management medications.
With nearly 38% of Tennessee adults living with obesity, the policy change marks a significant step towards addressing one of the state's most pressing public health challenges. Gary Daugherty with the American Diabetes Association says the new TennCare partnership broadens access to treatments for obesity and diabetes.
Previously, TennCare only covered obesity medications for beneficiaries under the age of 21, and that created a gap in care. So the new policy will cover medications for obesity management for both adults and children.
Daugherty says TennCare's coverage of weight management medication will help many of the 2.6 million Tennesseans living with obesity while also cutting health care costs and reducing obesity-related complications statewide. Danielle Smith reporting.
Meantime, a grassroots community in Fort Morgan, a small town 80 miles northeast of Denver, has continued to welcome people seeking safety in the U.S. from civil war, cartel violence, and other dangers.
Guadalupe Lopez came to the U.S. in 1998 from Venezuela. She says it's important to connect families with someone they can trust to help them navigate a completely foreign process with paperwork and other hurdles.
And so by having someone on the ground, it really makes a difference for people to have clarity about what their next step might be.
In 2012, Lopez was put in shackles during a traffic stop and turned over to U.S. immigration authorities. She faced her first court appearance alone with her husband, but after being introduced to a community of activists, supporters stood by her side at the second hearing. Lopez has been dedicated to helping others ever since and gained legal residency last year. I'm Eric Galatis.
This is Public News Service. So do you know which farm the milk in your fridge comes from? Smaller dairy farms in Minnesota say they're increasingly worried it's not from their cows, but rather factory farms.
Dairy farms have long been at the heart and soul of Minnesota's agricultural sector, but data show corporate consolidation has helped lead to a dramatic shrinking of independent producers of milk, cheese, and other dairy products. State Attorney General Keith Ellison says his office is interested in making use of antitrust laws to prevent small farms from selling off their land.
Dairy farmers that are small are innovative, they're efficient. But they just sort of have the deck stacked against them.
Ellison says establishing market fairness overlaps with other needs of rural residents, including health care and high-speed internet access. Dairy consolidation woes are likely to be raised during an August 24th town hall in Paynesville featuring Ellison and hosted by the Land Stewardship Project. I'm Mike Moen.
And Kentucky's received about $62 million in grant funding from the EPA's Solar for All program to expand access to solar power and help households reduce utility costs. But communities will no longer see those funds after the Trump administration announced the program's cancellation.
In 2023, the Commonwealth created a proposal that aimed to reduce participating households' monthly energy bills by up to 20%. It mainly reaches low-income households and communities that do not often have access to renewable energy, explains Julia Finch with Sierra Club's Kentucky chapter.
Another goal was to provide jobs and trainings in renewable energy and to create a workforce that is ready to engage with renewable energy. So we see this as a huge setback.
Louisville and eastern Kentucky counties had planned to use $150 million to create a forgivable solar loan program for low-income households, as well as build community centers powered by solar panels for use during natural disasters. This is Nadia Ramlagan for Kentucky News Connection.
Finally, federal cancer research that has fueled life-saving treatments in Alabama and beyond for decades could soon take a major hit.
The Trump administration's 2026 budget proposal calls for slashing the National Cancer Institute funding by nearly $2.7 billion and cutting the National Institute of Health by more than 40%. Dr. Qasim Hassani is an oncologist and health policy researcher at the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
At UAB, at least, we've seen how quickly research turns into new therapies for our patients here in Alabama, here in Birmingham. But if funding dries up, that progress stalls. So the end result is more suffering and fewer lives saved.
Hassani explains that reductions would be especially harmful for research areas that don't typically attract private investment. Shantia Hudson reporting.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
It's 8:05.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW. Chewelah, Colville, Kettle Falls. You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW. Chewelah, Colville, Kettle Falls.
It's 8:06.
Your KCHW morning show is made possible by donations from
Colville Toyota. Colville Toyota, located at 160 West 3rd Avenue in Colville, offers new and used vehicle sales and service. Vehicle sales is open 8:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday, with a Toyota Express Maintenance Center open 7:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information on Colville Toyota's vehicle inventory and services is available at colvilletoyota.com. A small-town dealership with a big heart.
And by
Chewelah Flooring.
Chewelah Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products, including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chewelah Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Dell Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at CheWelahFlooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at CheWelahFlooring@gmail.com.
Programming brought to you by Ryan Moore, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Deer Park, Washington. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Edward Jones is a firm that helps individuals and business owners achieve their financial goals. More information is available at edwardjones.com or by calling 509-276-2974. Edward Jones, member SIPC, with locations in Deer Park and Chewelah.
This is KCHW 102.7.
Okay, let's scream.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Right.
From a store. From China, probably. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the KCHW Morning Show. We are back again with the second half of the show with, of course, myself, Chuck Ritchie. We have the ever-lovely Sharon Ludwig and the lovely Paula Randall. And we, of course,
I'm
have
only lovely sometimes.
Right. And we're back with our special guest today. We have Paul Sety, and I'm sorry, Mr. Sir, I forget.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
I didn't get the preface of lovely. I don't.
Well, it's implied.
Okay, it's implied.
So, with all of our the lovely Paul Sety, and I'm sorry again, I forget your
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
This is Tim Johnson.
Tim Johnson. Okay.
Okay.
I was like, if you want me to call you Mr. Okay.
No
Did your parents
relation
give you that name?
to the Chewelah Johnson.
It was a good time.
Outstanding. Well, welcome to the show, everybody.
Thank you.
You just introduced yourself a little bit there, Tim. Paul, introduce yourself. I don't think you need any introduction.
That's
but
okay. I'm Paul Sety. I've been in around the Chewelah area for many generations and quite a while myself. And my wife and I own Sety's Ace Hardware and the Yale Press. And that's a good summary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, and you've branched out from Chewelah, though, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, we own the Wandermere Ace Hardware as well, and that's how Tim came into the fold. He started as a manager down there for us, and now he's the district manager of both stores. And I brought him along today to answer questions kind of about our grand opening, if it gets to that point, which is happening Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But anyhow, back to my introduction. So, yeah.
I'm sorry to take you away from that.
That's who I am.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Well, Tim, now your chance. We want to hear from you. Go ahead and introduce yourself. You said your name, but you didn't really introduce yourself.
Well, obviously,
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson.
But yeah, I've been with Sety's for 2.5 years now. Started as a store manager in his Wandermere location down in Spokane. Recently been promoted. Now I'm over both locations. Great family to work for. Great organization. So glad to be here and be part of the legacy.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Sety's name, right? It's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, I have been to hardware stores in the past, and I usually like finding that little hardware store that's got all the screws, right? There's some guy, he's like 9,000 years old, and if you need that weird fastener. He's where you go to because no other store has it, right?
Right.
But I tell you what, when we came to Chewelah in 2023 and we found Sety's and all of the character and the wonderful salespeople, I had like instantly my favorite paint guy who knew all the answers to all the questions I had. Daniel found the perfect guy to talk to about, again, fasteners and all the fasteners he had. We lived there like every single day. We go down to Sety's. And now my husband is that crazy guy who walks around with the backpack, the tool backpack, and he got that toolkit that attaches to the bottom. And he walks around and like, look at my backpack. I mean, it's crazy how often we're down there. So what an amazing creation the Sety family has created in that store. It's not just an Ace Hardware. It really is like the heart of the community.
Well, thank you. It's, that's kind of was our intent, I think, with the rebuild, is that we kind of maintain to be downtown and the downtown core. That's why we put the footprint back where we used to have it. And, for generations, technically I'm the fourth generation here in Chewelah doing this, and it's always been the center of the community, especially with Chewelah houses. You got to have a place to go to get something to fix it.
Oh, the old houses, yeah, my house included, yeah.
And on a side note, I think we sell coffee cups that'll latch onto your husband's backpack system.
Oh my gosh! I'll tell him because he likes his coffee, right?
Yeah. Well, so again, the sort of like hub of the community. Tell us a little bit about this remodel. Well, where do you want to start, Paul? Do you have anywhere you want to start?
Well, I guess first, thanks for your persistence, Chuck, with asking me to come over. I mean, you've been asking us for 2.5 years. And so I know there's a lot to discuss, and you were very patient with us, so thank you.
Well, I also knew you were going through some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So
well, we had a good little trial there.
It's
good to, be tested once in a while so you can still prove that you can do it, I guess. But yeah, we Jess and I think we would take our old building back in a heartbeat, but it's not an option. So we have what we have, and so.
So we have a few listeners who've not been around a long time. So what happened?
So in 2023, and were you guys here before the fire?
Yeah,
or after
before
the fire?
Okay.
So 2023, August 18th of 2023, we had a devastating fire, and
awful.
We had a 3-story historic building that was designed by Kirkland Cutter out of Spokane, and I never, in my wildest dreams, thought that thing could burn to the ground, but it did. And so we lost everything. By the time the fire department was able to respond, it was fully engulfed. And so they worked really hard. They were able to kind of save the ale press, and I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but hours after we got our fire out is when the elk fires erupted. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that had to do with winds. And so there was a really good chance that fire could have spread to other buildings in Chewelah. And I don't know that I could have stuck around Chewelah if other people would have lost their businesses. But at any rate, the fire department did a great job of containing it, but it was a complete loss. Literally, I mean, you can't stand around. You get stuck in the mud. So you just move forward. So 24 hours later, we were sitting on the back patio of the coffee shop figuring out how to move forward. Out of that came the Container Store, which
was brilliant.
We're still very proud of.
Brilliant.
Our staff put all that together. I don't know that it's a new idea, but it was definitely new to Ace Hardware land to use those containers, and I'm proud of what we were able to do in there and what we were able to provide. The weather patterns, I mean, they cooperated better than they could have, but it was still pretty miserable in the winter and the summer. But we did what we could, and we survived that. And then moving forward with the rebuild, it was really important to Jessica and I that we keep as much as we could about the old building, and so we were able to keep a lot of labor spent and money spent trying to keep the brick facade. And really, as far as the structure is concerned, they're not structural. The walls aren't. They're just a facade. And so we had to build a building inside of that. Tom Bristol he's just a tremendous human being, and he was there when the fires were still burning, discussing with us ways that we could salvage things and survive. And when we hired Architects West, they in turn hired Tom as an outside consultant to be on the project, and so he was along with us all the way. And the architects worked really well with us, keeping a lot of the brick, and really that's what we were able to maintain was the brick structure that allowed us, some hat tip to the past.
Yeah.
And as
gorgeous.
you walk inside the building, you'll see these what we call dribble walls, and that's kind of just an homage to the old footprint. You have to imagine where the walls were, but that was where the original building was. So that's kind of the story of the rebuild. Other than that, any new building you get that's a retail outfit of this size is just going to be a big square box, and so the rest of it's just functional retail space.
One thing that's really neat, though, is there were a lot of us locals that were concerned because the original Sety's was so cozy. I mean, it was it was very, very cozy. And so we were like, oh, I hope it's not like a big warehouse. I hope.
Yeah.
And what I'm so delighted, even though it is a big square box, like you said, you did keep the brick. We can still see the brick inside. And even though your ceilings are, 15 feet high, it is cozy. I mean, the difference is now there's room for you, both of you to walk down an aisle side by side instead of single file like it did before, right?
Yeah.
And so there's room. And I love the things that are in the store. I love running in there and just finding somebody, okay, I'm looking for this. And somebody walks me over, here it is. I have yet to not have somebody show me where something I needed was.
And one of these days, I'm going to sneak up there and you're going to see me lounging up that little area you can look over. I'm going to sneak up there and you're going to have to say, Chuck, get out of my store. So
Chuck, coffee breaks over.
Right.
Right. Yeah, and that was a big part of our intent too, and that was kind of more of a interior design thoughts, which Jessica had a big play in. Is retaining that cozy space, and it, we want some place that we were comfortable going to work in. It's not just a big square box, and the construction methods that we use we visited several avenues. We tried to use a local timber company that was manufacturing, so we would have had a wood ceiling, but it just surpassed what we could have budget. So we came back to the metal structure that we have now, which was the more cost-effective measure, and we were kind of worried about that, but it turned out well. And with Jessica's, vision of the inside and all the pictures and everything, I think we're really happy with the way it turned out. The space that Chuck's referring to is really, we call it a training space, and so right now there's a couple chairs, and it's kind of a landing pad for my kids when they're floating around town or whatever, I guess. But for the most part, it was created as a training space, and so when we have group trainings or whatever, we can utilize that space for that.
Are you ever going to open that space up for community members, like to rent maybe for doing something?
Probably. Well, as of right now, no, because it's just a liability issue. Unfortunately, when you have a business, a lot of times it's all about the insurance and liability.
Yeah.
So having people go upstairs that aren't supposed to be going upstairs or doing something like that, whether they intend to or not, if they slip or fall in a space that they're not designed to be in, it creates a real issue. So as of right now, probably not.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it when you did the feed that was on YouTube or wherever, when you showed us everything inside before you put in all the shelves.
Yes.
And you walked us through the building and you talked all about it. That was really an interesting.
Was so cool.
Yeah, I love that.
You made the whole community talk about that when you posted that, because everyone was waiting to just get a peek inside.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, Sharon. We, you get on with your life and you keep moving and you just kind of forget about things, right? And you've got these priorities, and then something else takes priority over that priority, and you just forget about that. And that was kind of funny because it was on our list for about 2 weeks to do, and I really wanted my kids to do it. I've had my time in front of the camera, and so I just thought, this would be a fun thing for my kids that are theater kids, and they just couldn't figure it out. And then that day was literally the last day before they started setting up shelves.
Yeah.
And I just showed up and went, well, I guess I'm going to do it. We better take care of it before we get a bunch of shelves in there. And we wanted to do it when the space was empty, because before the shipping company came up and dropped off all our shelvings, it was just a blank floor, and we were riding around bicycles and having a good time in there. But
that would have been fun.
Yeah, it was it was interesting. And so you just kind of sit in this big open space, and then as soon as they start setting up the shelving, it just it changes the whole
transforming.
the whole feel. So it was important to me that we get that video out to the public so that they could see, and it was, I think, well overdue. We should have been doing it every couple weeks just to keep people updated, but
I think everybody understands.
Yeah, I was going to say, and boy, construction
away.
happened so fast, and you guys were out there hustling and working that space, cleaning it out, getting everything set up. I know at one point I really am a fangirl here, stalking the store, right? And there were inspectors, and they were like, I guess measuring the brick foundation, how deep it went or something.
Yeah.
And so they were out there, and then there were all these fantasies. Ooh, what could we do with the bricks? I hope they keep them. Can we make it into an outdoor theater space for a little while?
Yeah.
Right, we all had, and I have to say, again, everybody excuse me because I love your store. When you opened up the containers, we were so excited.
Well,
Daniel and I were so excited. We're like, oh my gosh, it's Sety's in a box. I mean, it was
it was what, 2 months
So
after
cool.
after the fire that you guys opened
Yeah,
up?
well,
it was really
it
fast.
was 2 months is pretty close, but it was 6 weeks, and we're pretty proud of that. So I'm gonna just say 6 weeks that from the day the fire went to being opening and selling stuff, and essentially it was a full store,
and
a little
having
bit smaller,
stock, yeah.
but having it in stock and having the shelves up. And again, that's a testament to the staff that we had at the time, just busting their butts and getting it up. We did on a side note to your point, when it was just a big open floor, and pickleball's really big right now.
Yeah.
We thought, man, it'd be really fun to have a pickleball tournament like inside, one time only, and then 20 years from now, people will be like, I played pickleball in here.
Right.
But again, it all comes down to liability, and it just didn't happen. But
Maybe you could have wrapped everybody in those big plastic bubbles and have their hands sticking up for
that
a
would have been
racket,
a new spin on the pickleball.
Yeah. So back
Sweaty
to
mess.
the container store. So you'd walk in a container and you felt like you were in a store.
Mhm.
I mean, it was all set up, and you could find what you needed, and the people over there, I'd say, I need this, and they'd take me right to it. It was just amazing. Are there plans for those containers? What's happening with them?
Yeah, so those containers are rented, and so ideally the best plan would have been the day we moved out, they went back.
Yeah.
But as we kind of, noticed on the calendar, the day that we moved out is the day that we opened essentially in the new store. And so we've been too busy really to break them down and send them back. But they are rented. They have to go back. We have gotten rid of 2 of them. And so we're going to get through this grand opening and then probably attack it pretty heavy to get rid of them.
And then more garden stuff?
Yeah, and as you know, you gardeners, like, spring's coming. I mean, winter's got to come first, but spring's coming, and so we have to start prepping, and our intent is to have the greenhouse and the garden center back by spring.
Oh, cool.
If we can
Yeah,
handle it.
I love
But
that.
Yeah, and so now we've got some cool overhangs to repurpose if that's what we decide to do, and keep some shade on the plants. And so our intent is to make that at least close to the way it used to be.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So now I get to fangirl a little bit. So
it's not just me.
No, and it's true, and I've heard the story from lots of people. We were house hunting for something in the area, anything between. We were looking between Medical Lake and Elk and Usk and is it Usk or Usk? Usk. Yeah.
Usk.
Mm-hmm.
And we had looked at a couple houses in Chewelah, but they weren't. There was one we couldn't get a real estate agent to actually let us in the house. Another one the deal didn't work out. We almost bought a house in Newport. But one of the things that brought us back, we looked at this. There was another house for sale in Chewelah, the one we ended up buying. And so we're like, okay, we're making plans with the kids. We were in Spokane at the time. And we're like, okay, well, we're going to go look at this house in Chewelah. And the kids were like, oh, is that the town with that really cool hardware store with the great toy section?
Bless their hearts.
And I was like, yeah, that's it. And they're like, oh, could we live there? I'm not even kidding you. And we ended up buying that house. And it was, they were, I think they just turned twins. They just turned 10 at the time, I believe. And they were, for the first probably 2 years we lived here, it was just constant. Can we go to Sety's? Can we go to the toy store? Can we go buy something? And at Christmas time, everything was always going to that store, and it was just.
We never saw it during Christmas.
Oh yeah,
Because we got here in 2023.
Oh yeah.
But we were there every single day.
Yeah.
Every single, and when when I called my sister, because of course I talked about the store. Oh my gosh, Jane, it's a hardware store, but it's not a hardware store. It's so cool, right? And when the fire broke out, I mean, we thought the whole town was engulfed, because I'm like a mile away from town, and you could see the fire, and we're just like, oh my God, did we lose a whole downtown?
It was terrifying.
Terrifying.
I mean, the radio station is 30 feet from the corner of the building,
right?
And luckily Justin Scram was up in when he still had the store over there. He was upstairs watching the fire, and I'm all night with him because the fire department wouldn't let me in here.
Yeah,
and my family was like, Chuck, don't go over there. And at one point, I did try to come down, and the fire department's like, no. There's nothing you can do here. And I agreed, and I left. But yeah, because I was going to get us fire up the generator and trying to get us on our backup tower, but the fire was too close. If one of those wires would have gone during that,
we would have
had a bigger problem.
We had a phenomenal response from neighboring departments, and Colville actually came up this 3rd Street with their, I think it was their ladder truck.
Mm-hmm.
So considering how hot it was, and you can still see the poles that were burned, and nothing happened to our lumber yard, which is dry stacks of lumber.
It's amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So they did a great job of preventing that. But it's kind of funny you mention that, because I was probably one of the first people to drive by, because I got the call because I'm on the volunteer department too. So I came down and I drove by it, and I was just in my clothes. And I showed up at the fire department, and I yelled some stuff to my guys, and then I just came down here, and I was running around in my shirt. And so, my shirt and flip-flops.
Yeah.
I don't have flip-flops or tennis shoes, but anyhow, I came back here when the Colville crew showed up, and I'm telling them what to do, and they're like, who are you? and I got to slow down. I'm like, okay, well, I'm the owner, and this is what's happening, and I know the building, and blah, 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 and it's total loss, and so please just prevent it from spreading. So I'm glad they were able to do that, because I know some of the neighboring buildings lost doors and windows cracked, and it was hot enough that it did somewhat substantial damage to a couple of our trucks that were parked across the street. The one of the seats melted, some of the lenses melted on the truck, and it was hot.
And I had that next morning. I came down to sort of assess any damage to the station, and the firemen were still there cleaning up. And one of the firemen, he had a whole handful of shells and casings from ammunition that he didn't find in the building. He was picking them up all around the downtown area. So there were some windows, and
that's not how ammo's supposed to work, but it's how it worked.
Right.
And after the fact, when you get the fire put down, and you realize that's all happening, it's pretty scary. But he didn't find bullets; he found shell casings.
Right.
So that's essentially when they get put in a fire, like you see in the movie where they throw them on the fire and everybody dives, which you probably should do.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's just supposed to explode, and the bullet just kind of goes bloop, and so what you're seeing is the shells exploding and flying. But we found shells almost a block away.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you need some sort of barrel for them to get a trajectory.
Right. But still, I mean, they could whoop.
Yeah.
So can you even put into words what was going through your head that night? Can you?
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
It's kind of weird to say, but different, I guess, trauma training or whatever through the military, through the fire department. In my, it took about half an hour, I think, for it to really register that this is done. There's no going back, and at that point, it's triage. It's what can we save? It's already done. The emotions get bottled up for another time. I think it was like 2 or 3 days later that I was by myself somewhere that I actually, broke down and had the big cry. But it's you just got to keep moving on. And that was my, honestly, that was my mindset was, what do we do next? What do we do next? So I'm calling, you're calling the insurance company, you're calling this person, you're calling my, I think I called Tim that night, and Tim showed up he lives in Elk. Is that Chatteroy?
Yeah, Chatteroy.
Is that too much telling people where you
We're
live?
going to find you now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Top of Mount Spokane, Mr. Johnson.
Uncommon name.
It's got an emu farm, by the way. Just started it. So, it's all that, I would call it triage, like, where is your brain going? What do we do next? How do we get through this? Are we going to be closed for the next 2.5 years for the build? Or are we going to try to open and service the community?
Right.
And it was very important for Jessica and I to continue to service the community, and we could have probably sat on our back heels and just kind of taken it easy, but it's just not who we are, and it's not, obviously we own a business because we need to make a living, and so that's our biggest interest, but a lot of that also comes from what we're giving to the community. So the continuation of the business in some sort or another was very important, and so that's kind of where my mind went, and then it just is a matter of every day just plugging away.
Well, and I did want to go there too, because to be able to do that, I mean, that was, I mean, I'm assuming I haven't talked to you about this, but I know you guys couldn't possibly have been making a huge profit doing that. That was a service for the community that you guys were doing.
It was a service for the community, and full disclosure, there is, I can't think of the word right now, but there is a small pot of money through insurance companies to help you with that.
Right.
So if we would have sat back on our laurels and just let the world happen and not had a store, we would have gotten X amount. But we opened, it's called continuation insurance. Right. But because we opened up and we kept going, we got X minus the amount, because now we're making an income.
Right.
And so we were not whole. Our sales were about half of what they were in the big store.
Right.
So what the insurance company does is they help us maintain the payroll, so that we can keep the employees.
That's
and
huge.
That was the other thing we're pretty proud of. I mean, within everybody took a couple days off, but then that Monday we were back to work. If they were willing. So we continued with that process with the help from the insurance, and they give you a timeline, and they actually cut it off, and we were ahead of the timeline and beat it. So they're appreciative of that because they're not hemorrhaging as much money.
Right.
We're appreciative of that because that's the main goal, is to get back to work, or get back to normal is what I would say. So, but yeah, to answer your question, it was really just, a sense of community to keep selling stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, and speaking of the community, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that all over town you saw those Sety Strong
Sety
signs.
Strong, yeah. So that was my question. Speaking of the community, did you feel the community support? The second you opened your doors, we were there.
You can't even. There's no way to describe the community support. And I don't know who came up with the Sety Strong sign, but the first picture I saw of it was on the casino reader board, and then it just kind of spread, and that's the kind of support that you just can't put a value to. Just phenomenal. In this community, that we're here for a reason, and I even say this from in 2016 when I deployed, and when I came back home, this little community had yellow ribbons tied around the people, and they had people out there with signs, and I was just a desk jockey for 6 months. It wasn't, like I was under fire. So it's that kind of support that you just can't get from bigger places. And I've got a lot of roots here, so maybe that's part of it too, but it's just a support network that you can't you can't explain, and that's it was phenomenal. The Sety Strong, and it's not lost on me that means something more than us in my family and our entity, especially in a tremendous time like what we went through. So it was phenomenal. It was great, and I think the town came out in spades to support us. We wouldn't go 2 weeks without cinnamon rolls or chili or something that somebody would bring into us, and and I think everybody understood the idea that the staff for the most part was in freezing cold. But again, it's Jessica and I value consistency. So even when it was 0 degrees, we had to find a way that we would have the doors open, so if somebody's water froze, we can help them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the end result. You have to be there when people need you, and so you have to have regular hours for the most part, with exception.
Right.
And even when it's cold out, people need you. Their water's freezing. They need a switch, whatever. And
sometimes that's when people need you the most.
It absolutely is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. People can wait till tomorrow to paint their house or to paint their room or to whatever. But when your sewage is backing up or something like that in your house,
your sump pump breaks.
You need that. And so Just figure it out.
I just have to say the level of commitment to the community that you and Jessica exemplify, and of course all of your staff as well, it reinforces to me, and this is one of the first things that I noticed about Chewelah, is the sense of community. It doesn't really matter what your beliefs or anything else are. When people need something, the community shows up. We are neighbors, we are a community, and we have shown we are there for each other. And I just love that. Somebody says they need something, they post it on Chewelah News and Information. Somebody else is like, yeah, hey, I got this. And I love that. And I love that it is shown in you and Jessica. It's shown in other members of the community. It's shown on the radio station. Yeah. I love Chewelah. This is just so cool. So thank you for helping shape that sense of is it duty? Is that too strong of a word? Or is it opportunity to help for community? Is it, what is the right word?
Well, I think it's all of it. And for me, because I grew up here and, my roots are here, it is a sense of duty for the, I think that's a good term, because I feel like we, being raised in Chewelah and all of the memories that I have of walking into a store and maybe not having, or something in somebody's, when I was a little kid saying, well, you need to go talk to your dad or whatever, like that small sense of community. Yeah. It's a duty to Chewelah, for me anyhow, to do the best we can to be here for them. And it's not only that, it's kind of keeping our space clean. And sometimes it doesn't look like that. We've got some bad pallets out back, but it's our duty to keep the landmarks clean and do what we can to have a nice space. So, I mean, I think that's a fair term, but yeah, along in that, kind of on a tangent, but in that community, it's all of that. It's not just, we're not just talking hardware, right? But even talking about PACA, and Sharon sitting here. Sharon, you pretty much have a full-time job down at PACA that you volunteer for. And prior to that, I remember as a kid, you guys going down and collecting the garbage. What a gross job of collecting the garbage at Chautauqua for, I'm sure, free of charge with your own equipment.
The garbage people and the bathroom cleaners were the only two paid people in Chautauqua.
I'm sure if you told us how much you got paid for that, it would be laughable at this point. But anyhow, it's that sense of duty because your neighbors, you become part of the community and you feel like you need to give back. And, well, now I'm in front of a mic, so I've got an opportunity, but I've always kind of been of that mindset. It's, what are you going to give back? What can you give? And so I had an opportunity years ago to talk to the Chamber of Commerce. I got a military award through the Chamber of Commerce of Airway Heights. And that was my address was, how are you contributing? Are you just coming and taking? Like, you're like, hey, this is a neat town with a neat park. I'm going to plant my butt here and go to the park every day. Okay, but how are you contributing to help that?
Yeah.
So that's what makes up small towns as volunteers, and as you all know, because you're in that volunteer corps, it gets exhausting volunteering, and you see the same volunteers for everything. So pick something you're passionate about, just one thing, and you don't have to volunteer for everything. But that's kind of our sense of duty to keep the small town running. We don't have a big enough tax base to do all the neat things that a lot of cities do, but we have hands, and hands make easy work.
Yeah,
we get people from big cities that come here and say, wow, you guys do all this cool stuff.
I was just going to say, and one of the things, I didn't fully understand the Keep Chewelah Clean days, what that was.
Right.
And, of course, we pick everything up, and we are across from Triangle Park. So, we go over there, and we clean up Triangle Park all the time. But I was stopping in front of the Taekwondo studio, and there were ladies with a power hose and the little weeder, and they were weeding to make sure there's no grass growing between the sidewalk and the building. And I didn't fully grasp at the moment what that was a part of. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Keep Chewelah Clean. Oh my, I should have stopped and helped them and picked some weeds or something. I was like, oh, why did I? But just the fact that they were there, and they went all up and down Main to make sure that Main Street stays Main Street,
Yeah.
right? Clean. And my dad lives in a small town in Nebraska, and he finally got to come to see Chewila last year. And he was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so he was so excited because he wants to start some of the things in his town that we have here in Chewila that I started, like at the theater and some of the other things that he started. And his small town is 24,000 people. And I said, well, Chewila is 2,500 people, Dad. So I think, you know, I can give you the information, but I think you guys will have the opportunity to do a lot more. So I'm so proud of this little town. And like you said, everybody, from what I've seen, and yeah, there are some people who could still step up, but I'm just so thankful for the many, many, many people of this town and surrounding areas who do come and clean up and make sure that the garbage is picked up and make sure that something is fixed, right? When things are broken, it doesn't say proud
We get a lot
small
done.
town.
We get a lot done in this little town.
Yeah, I love it.
So Tim,
merchandise, yes.
I want to ask you some questions.
Yes.
Yes.
So how long have you been? You've been the manager at the Wandermere store,
Correct.
and you're also are you the manager of both stores? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing that? How long have you been the store manager over there?
I've been with Sety's as a store manager for about 2.5 years now. November is 3 years. Congratulations, Paul. But I've been the general manager of both stores pretty much since the Container Store kind of came up is when they started transitioning me into that role, because obviously it was a unique situation. So any experience that could help keep it going and keep it running is what we were looking for. So
well, let me cut in there, Tim, just for a second. So we have managers at each store. So Tim oversees both managers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we have him.
So you're
slotted.
the regional manager.
Yeah, sure. So
it's
that's
a
where
very
it gets
small
confusing.
region, but yes,
it's a small region.
Well, so I haven't been to the Wandermere store, but is it as cool as the Chewila store?
it's probably going to be
be
the second most amazing AC.
Okay. That's high shoes to fill there.
So you said a little bit about how Paul, cover your ears. How great it is to work for Paul, and the Setys. What does it mean to you to work in this environment, to be a part of all this, and feel the community involvement and everything with a hardware store?
Again, it's amazing, right? I came from a corporate background, and so very different to work for a private business owner and an individual, and again a family. It's says a lot when before this interview I was having breakfast with Paul and his mom.
Oh, nice.
So you don't get that when you're in a corporation or a
Yeah.
larger business, right? So the interaction. Paul specifically, he knows that my first couple years living in the Spokane area, I was alone, so I get invites for Thanksgiving and for Christmas to come over and just be with him and his family. How do you put a price on that, And for him to take care of me, and even through the fire and the loss of a business, of course, that concerned me, right? What's this going to do to his business? What's that going to do to my job and my role? But there was no hesitation. The night he called me, of course, he was compartmentalizing his emotions, but he pretty much said, well, the entire store just burned down. We'll talk more about it later. And my initial response is, I'm on my way. And he's like, no, there's no point.
Yeah.
So, but, the next day I was definitely here. And like he said, we're planning it all out, coming up with how we're going to move forward, what we're going to do, how we're going to keep people employed, how we're going to continue to make money, support the community. So to just see that involvement from them, also coming from a big city type area, is just really nice, because it's not something that I'm used to.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Well, and that sense of community, and I don't mean to be this harsh about it, but, in a bigger city, a lot of owners of a place like that, they'll be like, oh, my store burnt down. Oh, hey, look, I got this big insurance check. I can go retire now, and not worry about it, because whatever, I'm taken care of. And you didn't do that. And you probably did extra work.
Because we know
to
where
make
they
sure.
live. We'd be knocking.
Physically, I'd like to be in the police right now, but
right.
But mentally, Jess and we got to have something to do. So, but going back to the small town, I don't want to put words in Tim's mouth, but the first couple times that he was up here, I think coming from Texas, he was raised in Texas, big place in Texas, and we'd take off out the back door of the store, and where are we going? Oh, we're going to see the mechanic. Well, where's he at? Oh, he's just a block over.
Yep.
So we go over and talk to him, and oh, where are we going now? City Hall. Where's that? Oh, it's just right here. It's just behind. So yesterday, Monday or yesterday, I'm like, Tim, we're going to go on the radio station. Where's that? Oh, it's literally there. We're in my office. I'm like, you can see it from here.
It's right there, yeah.
And it's that small town, I think, and he's finally adjusted to it. But hey, we need something printed. Well, let's go walk down the street. We're going to talk to, the independent. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and I think it points to a town like this, a town this size, as far away as we are. I mean, we're not too far away from anywhere, but we're still far away from.
We're perfect.
When you need that thing, when you've got a water pipe burst or you've got an emergency, you need a hardware store and you need it now.
Yeah.
You don't have time to drive. Sometimes, an hour, even Colville, by the time you get there, do your shopping, if you get in there and just run in as fast as you can and run back, it's still an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the damage that can be done to your home in an hour when you need to fix it now is a lot. I mean,
we heard a lot of that for that 6 weeks that we didn't have anything. And I mean, literally 99% of our inventory was burned, nuts and bolts and everything, right? So even, guys for the school district that work, we have a pretty good rapport with them, and they would just need a screw to fix something, and you'd have to go dig through your bucket, go home and dig through the barn and see if you can find something.
Yeah.
Or you go to Colville for a 25-cent screw. So
that you need now.
That you need now. And it is kind of really unprecedented for a town this size to have a store with the footprint that we have. But it's just where we ended up. It's just what we developed, and people keep shopping, and so we keep adding stuff that you're going to need. And
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, an example, last year, a faucet, the front faucet started leaking, and I didn't think much of it, but then I put a bucket underneath where the leak was, and it was leaking 5 gallons of water every day.
Wow.
So I had a friend, because my husband can't do anything like that anymore. He's kind of housebound, but had a friend come and tell me what I needed. And so he said, take a picture of this and take it down to Sety's, and they'll get you the right part.
Yep.
So I took a picture, and I went down to Sety's, and they enlarged it, and he says, well, yeah, this number right here, and he went right to it, and he gave me the new faucet, and I brought it home, and they put it on, and it hasn't leaked since. So, but it was so helpful that I could just go down there and get the right part and get it fixed.
Just for future reference, Sharon, we do have 10-gallon buckets. So you would have only had to empty it every 2 days.
Right. No pressure that you have to inventory literally everything the entire town could possibly need. So no pressure, Tim. Because I know we had our sump pump. We have 2 sump pumps on either end of our basement, and you'd think maybe the other sump pump wasn't needed until it broke. And we had water, everywhere. And my husband was rushing down to Sety's with, the broken, whoa, and you guys were like, try this. And he'd run back and whoa, and he'd go back. I don't know. He must have gone back 5 or 6 times. But right when you were closing at one point, right when it was, and the guy stayed open to make sure that that part worked.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So just, of course, Daniel is freaking out because, of course, we've water everywhere, and Xander and I are there with our buckets, literally taking water from one sump pump to the working sump pump, so that it would, trying to make sure that we didn't actually flood. So, oh my gosh, I mean,
we kind of have a rule of thumb with Chewy. That's kind of funny because we've gone through these phases over the years of a town of 4 seasons or tourism or whatever, but nobody ever talks about wet basements. And
right?
We really should not be building anything with a basement in Chewelah.
No.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Right?
I don't think I've met a single person in Chewelah that has a basement that doesn't have issues with their basement.
Yeah.
And nobody says anything about the basement. So we went to inspect our house in the spring.
Yeah.
And now I lived on an island. I owned a house on an island with a basement. I didn't have water in my basement.
Yeah.
We were inspecting the house, and I'm like, why is the basement wet? Not splash. You couldn't, it was wet.
Stamp, yeah.
And the realtor was like, do you want us to pull the plug right now? We can pull the plug. You don't have to buy this house. And I loved the house, loved the property, loved Chewelah. And I'm like, wait, just let's go talk to the neighbors. And so we started literally knocking on doors. And all of the neighbors
Is your basement wet?
Yes. And
Is your refrigerator running?
And they're like, oh, yeah, this is a normal thing. We're on a swamp. It's Chewelah. If you have a sump pump, you should be fine. It's only a couple months out of the year is what we heard. But it was just like, what is this? What is this strange thing?
Well,
what is this wet basement thing?
A couple months out of the year when the water levels are high, right? And then now we have enough technology that you can get an alarm that hooks up to your sump pump or whatever.
Yeah, we have one of
Wi-Fi
those.
or whatever that tells you if it is getting high levels because
Yeah.
20 years ago, you didn't know that your sump pump quit until you walked into the basement to get the jar of peaches and you're going squish, squish, squish.
Yeah.
I see. So local jar of peaches, yes, because what else is down there, right? All of our canned goods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the first houses we looked at here, there was about 8 inches of standing water in the basement, and we went down to the basement, and it wasn't a real estate agent; it was the owners of the house showing us. And my eyes got big, and they're like, "Oh, that's normal. It's always like that." And I'm like, "Okay, never mind." You just turned around and walked out.
Bye-bye.
Right then and there.
Yeah, we had we did have a basement in the old store that was well, it was where the furnace was originally, and they had a wine cellar and stuff down there, and it had a sump pump, and the pit was probably about 2 feet below the floors where the water level lied, and so that's how close it was like 8 feet below the ground, I guess, just about where the water was.
Wow.
And it just ran all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we saw a plat map of our property one time, and there's this kind of a fault line or line anyway, and the fellow that was explaining it to us says, this is probably an underground river, and it goes right under your house.
Wow.
And so it was kind of interesting.
But you live kind of on a hill, so at least
I
it
do
runs
live
out.
in a hill, but we have water and we have a sump pump.
Yeah.
We have Pay Creek runs through our backyard, and at one point our neighbor actually the creek had a previous owner had put in like a concrete blocks or something to keep, because the creek was, their house was like on the creek.
Yeah.
And if it had been built now, they probably wouldn't let them do it, but it had gone behind the concrete block, and all of a sudden one day there was water like literally shooting out from underneath her house.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh man, what's going on, my plumbing?" And they found out it had created the creek had created its own little separate aquifer that was running out, and it was hitting something else and shooting straight up underneath her house and shooting out from under her foundation. It was wild. They got it fixed, but
I have to go back to the wonderful merchandise at Sety's.
Yeah.
Okay, so my favorite things right now are the miniature puzzles, right? The little artistic miniature puzzles that you can get because they're only 50 pieces and it's fine art. And it's consumable. You can put together a puzzle, and you don't have to be working on it all day. You're like, look, I put together this beautiful piece of art, and then I can pack it away and put it back in its little tiny box.
Nice.
And it's only $2.99. So I love that. That's my current favorite. Daniel's current favorite are all the attachments for that backpack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Did you ever show him that backpack? I'm just never going to forgive you for that.
He
'cause
just
he
needed a
takes it
backpack.
everywhere.
We're just trying to service customers.
Oh my gosh, right? And then
at some point he's going to need to like haul a trailer behind him to support the
just
backpack.
to support the back. I'm like, honey, you look like a Sherpa. He's got all the different stuff.
We have little carts that lock into, so it's
It's so good, right? And then Xander, trying to get my son out. He doesn't like he never liked finger painting or mud pies or something. So you guys had the perfect gloves where he doesn't actually have to feel the weeding and stuff, and he got the arm protection things, right? We had to get new keys done, and you guys saved us there. Of course, the sump pump, and then my paint. When you exploded, right, when Sety's was gone, we had just found the perfect paint for our house. We were so excited to start painting, and we're like, oh my God, is it gone? Is it lost? And that paint guy, he found it, and we painted.
Oh, that's
yeah,
great.
and so it was like, oh my gosh, yes, because I had taken probably 12 different samples. Let's try this one, let's try this one, let's try this one. This is too pale, this is too yellow, this is, right, the paint. And the fact that he was able to bring back that paint that I had picked, that we had that little sample of, and I'm like,
Speaking of the paint colors and stuff, so
right.
For people in the past before the fire, they go in, like I know I probably still do. I'm assuming all those systems are still up with all the people's preferences and all their history, because I have every paint color in my house.
Well,
did that stuff
unfortunately,
survive?
so that is a computer backup just like any other. And so
Right.
on a monthly basis, we would go down and put a thumb drive in and back that file up, assuming that the worst case scenario is the computer would crap out.
Not that your file cabinet with all the thumb drives.
Right. So we would take that thumb drive and go store it in a safe place in the store, and it didn't survive. So unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, anything up to August 18th of 23 is gone.
Okay.
But all the colors, like if you have a paint can or whatever, the colors, even if they aren't showing it on the paint deck anymore, we should be able to look that up.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm glad we were able to get your color. But kind of a funny story on the paint thing. Like 2 days ago, our paint mixer started smoking. So somebody's coming to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh my gosh.
but don't come and buy paint for the next 2 days because the story continues. But it might have been the motherboard or whatever that fried. So.
Oh my God! Well, anything
life
smoking
goes on.
inside, I bet everybody's like, no, 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 no.
Yeah,
no.
it was kind of a panicky situation, but we had it contained. It was fine.
Well, we're about out of time here today. I do just want to point out too that I've been in a lot of small towns around the country. You know, I've lived in some, visited some. It seems like everywhere you go, the hardware store is kind of like the central hub. It's where people go before the internet. You know, growing up in Wasilla, Alaska, before it became an actual city, you know, the hardware stores, Bernard Builder Supply. That was where you'd go and basically lean against a water cooler, and you know, you'd meet up with your friends and figure out, you know, you'd grab your cup of coffee and meet at the hardware store. You know, in small towns across the country, a good hardware store is central to to a town to be able to function and survive.
Yeah,
and it's really important. I really appreciate, and I think everybody really appreciates you guys putting all the work in and getting that store back up. So,
okay,
thanks.
I want to know a little bit about your open house.
The block party.
yes.
Yeah, the block
so I'm
party.
gonna. That's
we've
why
been talking so much.
we brought Tim around, but I'm gonna just kind of address on that real quick. Grand openings are kind of weird because we've been open for like 2 months at this point, and so you kind of go, what, you know, and you have all the pomp and circumstances like the ribbon cutting, but I think from the customer standpoint, sometimes it's kind of like, why are you guys doing a grand opening now? You've been open for 2 months. We're really kind of viewing this as a celebration or a block party instead of a welcome into the new store, because everybody's pretty much been in there. It's more of a come down, thank you for supporting us, come down and get some neat things and have some great deals. And so Tim's been really instrumental in planning that, and we have just a whole list of vendors that are coming and giveaways we're doing. So.
Right. Tell us all the cool stuff. We
Well-
actually are excited about all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we have free coffee every morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right.
Like,
The entire town
isn't
will
that
be
amazing?
there now.
And where does that coffee come from?
It may come from the El Press, but actually on Saturday we do have one of our local vendors, the Daily Express. We sell their products right now. Local coffee roaster, they're going to come out and start giving away some of their own coffee.
Very cool.
You know, each day we've got giveaways, we've got package deals. You know, part of what we've been discussing is just the duty to the community. And like Paul's saying, it's a celebration. And so instead of just trying to make money that weekend, we're trying to just appreciate the people that kept us in business. And so we're passing savings forward onto them. We are going to have some doorbusters that are pretty much selling at or below cost. We have lots of package deals. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have different charities that we're going to be passing on some of the proceeds to. So Friday, we've got the roundup turned on for Children's Miracle Network. We're also selling buckets that day. So every time you buy one of the CMN buckets, the $5 goes straight to CMN. Saturday, we've got the Chihuahua Cougar Busters, so that's going to be fun.
The
and then
boosters.
Boosters.
Cougar,
Yeah, well, I'm not from Chihuahua.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, we've got
Yet. We'll get you out
Becky's
there.
Best Buds.
Yeah.
Accurate? Okay, good.
Very cool.
So there's going to be
Oh,
puppies
good.
potentially running around the store, hopefully. That's my hope, anyway.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be sweet. And then, you know, the block party itself, I've been working on this for quite a few months this year. We have about 17 vendors lined up on all 3 days right now, but Saturday from 10 to 2, we'll be shutting down Main Street in front of the store, and we've got some pretty big name brands that are going to be coming out, demoing stuff, offering, you know, food and samples, barbecuing. They're going to have their own
fun.
giveaways and swag. And then we've also got a pretty significant raffle. We're doing a mini bike raffle. $5 tickets, and then all the proceeds are going to be split up evenly to all three of the charities as well. So
wow.
Nice.
we can only sell 1,000 tickets. So
Is that
What's a
was it
mini-
the Ego bike that's in
Yeah.
the front there?
Yeah, that it is.
I was eyeballing that thing the other
it's
day.
pretty sweet. It's
It
a
really
serious
is.
piece of machinery. So, you know, come grab your raffle ticket. They're $5 each because that's also just going to go to charity. So,
Well, and that pizza thing that you've got featured in the store,
Oh,
that
yeah.
really cool pizza, I heard that. Is that going to be a part of the raffle, or that's going to be
So-
featured? Or
So it's not part of the raffle. We do have a package deal for those. So we've got Gosney and then Traeger and then RecTech packages to save some people some money. So you purchase the oven or the grill plus a cover and, you know, some sort of fuel source, pellets or whatever. and we'll give you 10% off, which is pretty significant once you're looking at thousands of dollars on some of those. But Gosney is also going to be at the block party, so come by, sample their pizzas, see the ovens in action. That's going to be pretty cool.
Right.
So we're pretty excited about it, and then just the giveaways and raffles is just to thank the community as well. So we can appreciate all the vendors and their support because they did help us out with some of those. So they're doing a great job supporting us. We're supporting them by trying to sell their product and supporting the community by selling it cheap. So,
Incredible.
So we don't get a lot of vendors in Chewelah because it's just not for them. It's not the juice isn't worth the squeeze a lot of times. So give us some of the vendors, Tim, that are showing up.
Milwaukee, DeWalt, Craftsman, RecTech, Big Green Egg, Gosney. Ego is going to be there. We're also going to have a lot of our local vendors, Fletcher's Hot Sauce. We're going to have Three Ninjas Hot Sauce, Elixir Sauce Company, Daily Express, Carnivore Candy, just to name a few. So we've got some big names, and then also just some of our local vendors also, again, to support local business in the communities because they're around us. So
Outstanding.
So the flyers should be coming out in the mail like today or tomorrow.
Okay.
And so that's going to have the definitive all the stuff that's happening, kind of the chain of events. So
very cool. So we are out of time. So Paul, is there anything you would like to say to the community as we get out of here for the day?
Well, just again, thank you for your support. It was a trial for my family and my staff, but it was also a trial for the community. And so we appreciate your support. We appreciate, that's it. We appreciate your support. I can't say that enough. So thank you. Thanks for your patience and persistence with us, with getting me over here, Chuck, to be on the mic. And
it wasn't that far of a walk, was it?
Yeah.
It wasn't that far. You guys have a golf cart that'll take us back or whatever?
Yeah, you can hop in the back of the truck.
Yeah, but
I hear
again,
you have a mini bike that you can
we do.
go.
Yeah, it's a nice little number. But again, thank you for support, and let's just keep it going. We've got a nice building now to sell some stuff in, and we've done our best to have all the products plus more that we used to have. So if we don't have something, please let us know, and we'll see what we can do to bring it in. But again, thanks for your support. Come on down and have some fun Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Absolutely. And the popcorn's on you.
And the popcorn's on us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for listening today. Thank you, Paul and Tim, for coming in today. It was Tim, right? I got it right.
Yes, sir.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson
I'm
to
terrible
you.
with names. I got to be honest with you. All right. You can stay tuned right here tonight on KCHW from 6 to 8 p.m. with Music for the Mountain. 8 to 10 p.m. is Dirt Road Blues with our very own Dirt Road Doug McQuain live in the studio. 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. is Planetary Radio, Sea Change Radio, Echo Shock, Total, and Earth 8. And tune in tomorrow morning right here on the KCHW Morning Show for myself and Gina Greenwood for inspiring youth. You guys have a great day out there, and thank you all for coming in today. And thank you for listening to KCHW 102.7, your Northern Lights Public Radio.
Well, thanks, everybody.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Goodbye, everybody.
It's 9